Hey, this is Tracy with Color Me This. I am back to the metallics to give an update. I did just buy the red tin of the Color 180s, and I believe that that set is the 120 set with metallics, pastels maybe, and I'm possibly going to break that set up if there is a full set, a full number of metallics over just a silver and gold that sometimes you get with a 120 set. So I might be breaking that apart so that I can keep my metallics together for special type uses. So this is the Castle Arts. It came with the 50. I've already done a video on using these for some specialty purposes. I was working on a traveler's journal, kind of a sample little booklet to send to my sister-in-law, which she did receive and gave it the thumbs up. So these are the 48 colors. I have then, since I walked through that video with you, started a craft little swatching area here on black. I went ahead and did all 48 along the edges. It's possible that I will cut this into strips because the big thing for me is color matching. So I need to have all of my colors along the edge of whatever I am swatching on, and I do like to swatch on the actual paper media, whatever I'm going to be putting this on, I need to have samples of. So this is what I've got so far. I put them on the outside edges. I'm possibly going to cut them off and make a strip for the CretaColor. This one is a top reviewed artist grade. They're from Austria. It's a company that does art supplies, and they have the Mega line. They have 36 regular colors. The pencils are huge. I actually did slip open this packaging. I did want you guys to see how these came. It is a lid that's hinged with the metal case, so this case is going to live inside my Castle case for now. And I had not removed the protective sleeve. I wanted you to see that this whole tray was encased in this plastic, and now that I am finally getting to videoing, I will take that off. They have a little slip of paper here that is quality checked. This must be the stamp of whoever the inspector was. So we have these enormous pencils. I believe they're 6.4 millimeter. It has a number and a name. And the biggest question that I had for myself, and I think this one that's slightly shorter than the others, was me pre-testing in my electric sharpener. I have the Jar Link. I bought it because of good reviews and the fact that it goes up to 12 millimeters. So if I want to stick this fatty in, it just slides right in and sharpens without issue. So that was great. I was worried when I bought these. They do have their own manual pencil sharpener that you can get. I believe it's also got Mega in the name. And I was pretty sure that the Jar Link would work for me, and it does. So I have also pulled, this is a heavy pad of Strathmore Bristol Vellum. It's the 300 series. There's a smoother side and a slightly rougher side. I have written smooth side because I believe I'm going to put the CretaColors on this, and because there is enough space, I will probably also put the Castle Arts on here as well. I will be putting the swatches on the outside edges as I did with this example here. I was going to use these little swatches, so now I might instead do a couple of drawing samples. I have one additional sample that I kind of started and wasn't too thrilled with it, but it does actually have a purpose. So this is just 2 stamped images from Stampin' Up! That I stamped in white, and I have gone ahead and picked a few colors so you could see what the laydown is like for doing. I mean, I think that these would be very cute if you tore the edges around the image. You could make a very nice card from both of these. So I will probably do the same with these 2 scrap pieces. Is instead of making swatches out of it, I will turn these into little samples of what the CretaColor does. There's one other nice test that I want to do with these that I have not had a chance to do, and that is to put down white. I have done this when I did the macarons, the Brute Funer macarons, and I have my big swatch book. By the way, my swatch book is getting so full and heavy that I'm thinking it's going to be split into 2 to 3 books. I see that I have all of my markers and gel pens. I have the economy pencils, and then I have the professional pencils. So I think that it makes sense for me to split everything out so that it's not so cumbersome. But I do have handy my Brute Funer macaron swatches, where I have a row of a color with white and a row of the color without white, and I kind of like that. So I'm possibly going to, with these strips that I'm going to trim these down to, I have only 12 CretaColors, so I will probably do the CretaColor with white underlayment. Probably I'm thinking of which white I had used here. I will use a professional white that is a nice thick white, so maybe the Derwent drawing white comes to mind. So I'll get that sorted. I will cut these down into pieces and get them swatched. They will end up looking somewhat like my craft paper swatches. I noticed that I don't tend to do front and back unless the colors don't all fit on one sheet. I might finish off colors on the back, but I like to see the whole set at all possible laid out next to each other. So I don't often use the back, though using the back if you only have so much paper to work with is certainly an option. So that is my plan, and I think for right now, because I did promise that I would swatch real time, I'm going to go ahead, and I figure this is a nice small set to do so. So I just bumped my stand, sorry about that. So let's go ahead and get these 12 lovely chunky cards swatched. I like to write the name and number, and I like to do it in pencil because I tend to make mistakes. I am going to go ahead and go from the yellows. This is kind of color family order, the way I like to do a big set. So I will go ahead and start at the top with the gold as the yellow, and I will log the name and number. I'm number 12. It's possible. Yeah, so they did it the opposite. It's going to go from 12 to 1. So if I write, and I don't write very straight. I try, but without lines. That's my main swatch chart page, which is sitting right here. I have this ready. It has my lines for me because I do not write very straight lines. But this paper doesn't go through my printer. It is way too heavy. $2.93 must be the set name. And these are going to be very fat so that I can make nice big fat rectangles. Because these are going to be so fat, I actually could do my hole punch method here. I have my punches out. I have a craft punch that's a 3/16 and a standard hole punch from the Dollar Tree that actually works really well for the whole $1.25. I hadn't had a one hole punch that's the standard size for many, many years. And I finally got one. So I'm just doing the whole light layers. I plan on darkening layer on layer. I'm not feeling the metallicness of this. It doesn't have that slick, sort of a mica feeling that I expect in a metallic. And the Castle Arts definitely had that slick feel. I'm just curious how many layers it will take to get this to not have any white showing. I do like to rotate my paper as well. Here I am just trying to straighten up my lines. Now we're starting to get these are a very nice feeling pencil for how chunky they are. We had had a whole bunch of storms day after day after day, I don't know, for a couple of weeks. This is the rainy season here in Florida. And now we didn't have hardly any rain yesterday. I just heard thunder, but there is no rain in the forecast, so I don't know why it's thundering. So that is what the Go for Gold looks like. It's a little overcast right now, and I have no lights on. So let's take a look at that. It's got a little sheen to it. Not so different from the Castle Arts Metallics. Kind of more of a shimmer than a true metallic. I'm going to leave that as it is. I have enough room with as fat as I went that I could finish. If I can't quite get the 12, I'll go on to this side. I had hoped to have enough room for the Castle Arts to fit. I might, I'll just, so the tip of this, sometimes you get some residue from the manufacturing. I'm going to blow this off. So that's when I'm thinking there might be something on there. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little sharpen and see if that makes it come out cleaner. It's funny, for the name they gave it, Dripping Honey, it kind of looks more like copper to me. It is always interesting to see people's interpretation of a color and what kind of crazy names they can come up with. So I keep promising this metallics and the fact that I am going to swatch real time. And I decided today I just need to get it finished because I'm one coloring project away from being completely finished with the Artex swatching, and I have put them in color family order in the book. They are going to live with another set in a 250 book that I have had for some time. I like the cases with the individual slots, not the 3-up slots. I do have one of those, actually two, because I ended up with a used set. I like to buy used sets if I'm just testing out a pencil and I'm curious about it. I am happy to take it off of someone's hands for a fraction of the full price if the price is right, knowing that I can always buy them should I need them and want them, more than just doing a few projects with them. Pencils last forever. I have had my professional pencils for over 5 years. I have made many projects, and I am nowhere near using any of them up. I went over on a couple of those. So that's the dripping honey that actually looks more like copper to me. I do have an eraser floating around. We can do a little erase test, see how well they erase. I always assume that a pencil is going to erase, a colored pencil, and for the most part they do. All right, so that's dripping honey, which again looks to me like copper. And it does not have a lot of sheen to it. I bet you on the black it's going to. So because that one had a little issue, I'm going to go ahead and sharpen each of them just a tiny bit. And this one is Forbidden Fruit. It's a little awkward to do the light hand with this fat of a pencil. I might even at the end, sometimes if I don't get too close enough to the edge, see I'm not able to get that white gone, I'll just snip off a little bit using I have a big cutter, a guillotine cutter, to trim down cardstock for paper crafting, and I can just use that to trim it down. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with a little heavier hand. I am rotating the lead. And if it ends up that I am too quiet for this, I will probably speed it up at some point. All right, that is what they look like on the white. I think I'm gonna grab the black sheet and I am going to grab a jelly roll. All right. So those are the colors on the black. They are very pretty. And I can see the glimmer on all of them when I have the angles right. So aside from some crumbs, they felt pretty good. They laid down nicely. Here's the whites. And then I will come back for the next part with a finished swatch with them all with some white behind them, and put the Castle Arts, which the only swatch I have for the Castle Arts is on the cardstock that they provided, which was the test sheet. So I will be swatching them on here. So I have some more pieces to do, and then I'll come back with my final thoughts. So far, I do like them a lot. As I said, the best price I found for the CretaColor was on Cheap Joe's Art Supplies. And they had a new, for if you're a new person, you can submit your email and they will give you a 15% off. And that was for everything that I bought. And I bought the pan pastels, which you've already seen, an unboxing of, and these I bought with them. And I have never found the prices budge at all on Amazon, so I would look for a deal. Even Blick doesn't sell these with a discount. So I've seen, now that I have provided my email to Cheap Joe's, that they do have a 15% off coupon. So now the turkeys are, a few of them are distraught because some of them were on one side of our fence, the fence between our land and the conservation watershed land, and they're distraught because they need to jump the fence, and this is what always happens. It's very entertaining. So this is the turkey intermission I'm talking about. These turkeys end up splitting that fence line. There are 3 moms and 18 babies, and they are much larger than when I took this video. So now they all go fluttering and flying trying to get across the fence. Alrighty, so that's it for this one. This is episode 15, by the way. So I will then be able to put these away for a little bit and move on to my next set of pencils, which will be swatching the Starjoy Gold. And I will save more details on that for the next one. So do all the YouTube things, like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments, questions or concerns on the video. I have got some good comments, and I am going to slip in one video based on a comment I received that I did respond to, but I also wanted to do a short video of, so I will probably do that before I dive into the Starjoy Golds. So be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.